You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Monday the 15th of September 2025. It is 87 days after the summer solstice. It is 7 days before the fall equinox. By the French Republican calendar, it is the 29th day of Fructidor, the day of the marron, the sweet chestnut. The sun rises today at 6:37 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 12:51 p.m. The sun sets today at 7:04 p.m. Civil twilight ends at 7:32 p.m. and nautical twilight ends at 8:04 p.m. The length of daytime today is 2 minutes, 40 seconds shorter than yesterday. The moon is in its waning crescent phase and is 36% full at midday. The new moon will arrive on Sunday, the 21st of September. These are the predicted tides today for Horns Hook. In the early morning, high tide, 5:15 a.m., 1 meter 28. In the late morning, low tide, 11:09 a.m., 27 centimeters. In the evening, high tide, 5:38 p.m., 1 meter 52. This is the Monday reservoir report for New York City. The Delaware watershed, Cannonsville, 67% full, Papacton, 78%, Neversink, 75%, Rondout, 94%, the Catskill watershed, Schoharie, 23%, Ashokan, 80%, the Croton system, 97% full. In our shared realm of plants and animals, it is the time of rose hips. Not all roses produce these distinctive fruits, but the row of rugosa roses along the riverfront in Socrates Sculpture Park are well laden with bright red rose hips. Since rugosas bloom through the summer, they have been producing hips for the last 2 months. The older ones are shriveled and brown, or have been eaten by birds and squirrels. The new ones are fat, juicy, and bright red. And there are even the last flowers in bloom, a promise of new fruit still to come. Commemorations. On this day in 1655, the so-called Peach War broke out in the Dutch colony of New Amsterdam. It was a brief but violent conflict. A Munsee woman, a member of the native people of Manhattan, was murdered by colonists after she was seen picking peaches planted by the Dutch. A group of Munsee warriors descended on New Amsterdam and killed about 40 colonists. Annals of Science. On this day in 1835, Charles Darwin arrived in the Galapagos Islands aboard the HMS Beagle. It was here that he would gather some of the most important scientific evidence that would help him formulate the theory of evolution through the process of natural selection. During his stay, he collected numerous species of reptiles, plants, and birds, including the famous finches that now bear his name. Because the islands were both remote and full of animals and plants, they provided perfect examples of the way species develop. 10 years later, he wrote this: "Considering the small size of these islands, we feel the more astonished at the number of their aboriginal beings, and at their confined range. Hence, both in space and time, we seem to be brought somewhere near to that great fact, that mystery of mysteries, the appearance of the new beings on this earth." On this day in 1928, Scottish bacteriologist Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin while sorting through petri dishes containing colonies of the bacteria Staphylococcus. On this day in 1966, President Lyndon Johnson wrote a letter to Congress urging the enactment of gun control legislation. This was in response to a sniper attack at the University of Texas at Austin. To this day, as the events of the last week have demonstrated so painfully, we remain a nation awash in gun violence, armed to the teeth, and apparently resigned to living this way. Finally, today is the anniversary of the bankruptcy of the financial services firm Lehman Brothers in 2008. The failure of the company, which was deeply invested in subprime mortgages, was one of the major precipitators of the financial crisis that broke out that year. And that is the Observatory, Monday the 15th of September, 2025.